Good afternoon, stampers and crafters. Welcome to my Friday Live. If you don't know me, I am Sarah Chatello, Sassy Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today's project is really cool. I'm super excited about it. It's a home decor piece. We're going to be using the Pretty Pumpkins bundle, and I'm going to show you how to make something pretty that you can display in your home or give as a gift. They make really good gifts too. But before we get started, I'm just trying to find myself here on my Facebook page so I can see any comments. Go ahead and say hi if you're watching. Hi if you're watching the replay. The first thing I wanted to talk about was my group. So if you don't know, I have a VIP group is what I call it, and it's for paper crafters, stampers, um, customers of Stampin' Up. You can join there and we share our projects, we chat. I do giveaways in there. I go live on Sunday. So if you would like to join, I have a little graphic that I made. I like making graphics. So yeah, you join, you comment on my latest live video, and every Sunday I will be picking a winner. This week I'm giving away the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. So if you want to get in on that, go ahead and join my group. The link is in the description of this video. And then the other thing I wanted, oh, hi, Andrea. Hey, hey. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was my October specials. So those will be ending on Monday, well, Sunday night. So Monday is the first somehow, and those will be ending. Sorry, I'm trying to do 18 things at once. It's not what I want. Anyhow, those will be ending. A $50 order gets you the tutorials, and a $100 order gets you the tutorials plus a roll of that beautiful ribbon. And I have some here to show you. Look how pretty that is. It just sparkles, so pretty. So that ends on Sunday night, and I'll have new specials up on Monday morning. Why is this being funny? I'm trying to share into my VIP group so that my VIP people can see it. And there we go. Sorry about that. Technology, I'm telling you. If I didn't have trouble with it, I would say it's not working. Andrea says, where did October go? I know, right? It's already November 1st on Monday somehow. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera off and show you my desk. And we will get started on our super cool project for today. All right. Turn my camera back on. And there's my desk. And there's that host code I was telling you about. So if you use that, you will get my specials for this month. And whoops, like I said, we are using the Pretty Pumpkins bundle, which is this stamp set. Sorry, the glare from my ring light. So it's that stamp set and these really cool dies. I got too many things happening. So these are the dies we're going to be using. And we're actually going to be using this one and these two. So I'm going to be using 3 pumpkins there. And I'm also going to be using another die set for the sentiment. But I want to show you before we get started what I mean by home decor. So I have a couple here. And these ones I've made for Christmas. We're going to be making one today for fall. So this is the first one I made. And this uses a retired stamp set from last year. And then this one's kind of almost like a shadow box looking one. And all this stuff is still current except for the paper. That was celebration paper. And this again is just some retired stamp sets and paper and even the stitch shapes. But I like them for decorating my house. So I have a picture frame here that I got from Ollie's, which is like, if you don't have an Ollie's near you, it's a bargain discount store. So I think these frames cost me $4 or so. And I'm going to be showing you exactly what you need to do to create your own. So I'm going to move my dies just so I have them out. And the first thing we're going to do is start cutting our paper. So my frame is a 4x6, which is a standard picture frame. And I have a piece of balmy blue that I'm going to cut to 4x6. So this side here is 8.5. So what I like to do is cut that to 6. And then you just have this little scrap left over. And then turn it and cut it to 4 inches. And you can get 2 of these from 1 sheet of cardstock. So if I cut it again, I'll just show you. I could make 2. So you can make 1 for yourself, give 1 as a gift. And then I'm going to get a piece of basic white, just the regular. And I'm going to cut that a 1/4 inch shorter. I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to cut that at 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. All the measurements for this are very simple. I'm going to move this one though, because I'm only making 1, so I don't want to get confused. So see how that kind of layers on there? And then I have some paper from, I think it's called Euro Peach Designer Series paper. So that's the one side of it. We're going to be using this side because I wanted more fall. And I actually got the inspiration from this from one of my cards I did. So I'm going to cut this to 5 1/2. And it doesn't matter which way this is going. The design is uniform all the way around. And then I'm going to cut it at 3 1/2. Again, a 1/4 inch shorter than the last measurement. And that should layer on there nicely. So you have a little 1/4 inch border around each one. And then I'm going to take a piece of the basic white that I cut, and then we're going to do our stamping on that. I'll remove my paper trimmer. And you can do this with anything you have. So if you don't have a Stampin' cut and emboss machine, you just have punches, you could use that. I like to do a little 3D element to my, what am I trying to say, to my project. So I always like to have something kind of popping up. So if you don't have dies, you can use the punches with this. Paper pumpkin die cuts would work. Anything that you can maybe stick some dimensionals on the back. So I'm just going to grab the big pumpkin from the stamp set and a little bit of Balmy Blue. I also grabbed the Gather Together stamp. And I'm going to do a little heat embossing with this. I'm kind of throwing the kitchen sink at this one. But like I said, you don't have to. This is just to give you an idea on what you can do. So I'm just going to stamp my pumpkin in blue. And I'm done with the Balmy Blue ink. And I'm just going to grab my Versamark, which is a watercolor or a watermark ink. So it's clear. I'm going to clean the stamp off before I stick my finger in it. And then just up above that pumpkin a little bit, I'm taking my embossing buddy. They don't sell these anymore. I've seen them on Amazon. You could also use a used dryer sheet. You don't want to use a new one because of the film that's on it, like the dryer sheet stuff. Oh, I stuck my stamp to the stamp set. And I'm just grabbing D blocks for both of these. I'm going to ink up my stamp with the Versamark. You're not going to probably be able to see this. But once I put the embossing powder on, you will. And I have some gold embossing powder. My gold embossing powder is probably 6 or 7 years old. So this is not what the jar looks like anymore. So don't be concerned. And actually, they don't even sell them separately anymore. So you get a gold, a silver, and a copper when you buy the metallics pack, I think it's called. I don't remember. But there's a basics or essentials pack or something, and that has clear, white, and black. And this is like the metallics pack, I think it's called. I'm just shaking the excess off. I'm going to pour the rest of this back into my container. Andrea says they have an Ollie's around the corner. I love Ollie's. I go there all the time. The only thing I don't like is you never know what you find. And I find a picture frame that I like, and they have 2 of them, and I want 10. So, but it's new stuff all the time. I love those kinds of stores where you never really know what you're going to find. So our stamping is done. I'm going to get my heat tool out to emboss our sentiment. So this might be a little loud. Sorry about that. So hopefully you could see all that magic happening. I love heat embossing. Andrea says when she gets her stuff organized, she would love to try it. Heat embossing to me is it's an inexpensive way to make a wow for your card. I mean, I think the heat tool is $30 and the embossing powders last forever. So now I'm taking the Tasteful Labels dies, and I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use. That one fits pretty good. I think I'm going to go with that one. The Tasteful Labels dies are these, by the way, and they're really like my favorite. I use them pretty much on every card. But that one fits pretty perfectly, so I think I'm going to use that. I'm going to move this to the side and get out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Fold that down. And then I'm getting the base platform #1, the #2. It's like I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's like a cutting plate. You need it. You don't cut on it. I did actually and ruined it, but you don't cut on it, but it's almost like a shim to help your paper and things go through. And then a #3 clear cutting plate. I'm going to set down that die and just our solid pumpkin die to cut out this pumpkin. I'm going to stick that over top and run it through. And the cracking is completely normal. So then we have our pumpkin and our sentiment all cut out. And now I'm going to take a piece of silver foil, and this is from the mini catalog. There are 3 kinds in here. There's the brushed foil, the matte foil, and then this is the mirrored foil. So it's like you can almost see the reflection of everything in it. I'm going to be taking this really detailed pumpkin die. And before I do that, before I forget, I'm going to take part of an adhesive sheet and cut a little bit so that way our pumpkin will be almost like a sticker. So I'm going to turn this over and put my adhesive sheet on the back if I can find where to peel it. There. So take my adhesive sheet. Oh, there's 2 little pieces there. Hold on. Got it. Okay. I'm going to take my adhesive sheet and just stick it about there. I have a little corner sticking up. That's okay, though. I don't need the whole thing to be adhesive, just most of it. I'm going to do that. And then put my plate on top and run it through. My craft stuff is all over the place right now too, Andrea. It's everywhere. I have wedding stuff and crafting stuff and everyday life stuff, and it's all happening in my craft room. So once you cut that out, it's going to be like this, and the paper is actually in there. I'll show you how to get all of that out after we die cut our last pumpkin, which is this one. I'm just going to push this back through, and I'm using the same silver. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use blue. I want a blue pumpkin. So I'm going to take that scrap from our paper before and die cut a blue pumpkin. I just feel, I don't know, that whale might have been too much. Because this one is really detailed and it's really pretty, but it's really detailed. And I just kind of want that to stand out versus so many silver pumpkins. So there, I die cut that blue pumpkin and we are done the Stampin' Emboss machine. Put that away and we can put our project together. I almost said card because I'm so used to making cards with you guys that I forget I'm not making a card. So for ribbon, I haven't quite decided what I wanted. I have silver. I have lots of gold toned ribbons. I don't want that. I do have some of the silver elegant trim. So maybe, yeah, I like that. Let's use this. I'm just going to kind of measure it roughly by laying it across my paper. My seal is here. I need tape. And I think I'm going to stick it to this part. So this is real thin. So what I like to do is just kind of put it down. I have big fat fingers and I find the thinner the ribbon is, the harder it is for me to work with. I like big chunky ribbon usually because it's a lot easier on me. I'm just going to set that down, flip it around. That looks good. And then I'm going to put some seal on the back. Nope, I just ran out of seal. So I'm going to change my seal. Then I will put some seal on the back. So when you get seal, it comes like this. You just rip this top off. Open it up. And then place, there's 2 holes here. You just place them on there. Line them up. We are good to go. So I'm going to continue adding my seal. And put that first layer down. And the second layer. And then I'm going to show you how to get all this out. So I have my take your pick tool. This is of the brush, the die brush end, and then I have a paper piercer. So the first thing I'm going to do is there's little holes. See if I can show you. There's little holes on there. I'm just taking my paper piercer and very gently pushing on those holes so I can get it to come out. So now there's nothing left in my die. I'm going to set my die aside. And normally, because this has an adhesive sheet on the back, when you pull the adhesive sheet off and make it like a sticker, these little pieces will come with it. I'm just going to give it a little help by running the die brush along it. And then we'll peel that off and see how much came out. Well, some of it's coming out right now. If I could find the end, my adhesive sheet, this is why maybe I should have put it on the whole thing, but I didn't. So you can also kind of just wiggle it around. Sometimes I even take the die brush in my hand and just run it. And it just kind of gets all those little pieces to come out. Sometimes you just have to take your paper piercer and poke through a little piece. These intricate dies, they can get like that sometimes, but they're just so, it's worth it because they're so pretty. I got all the little pieces out except for one. Now I just have to find where my adhesive sheet is. There it is. I'm just taking the paper piercer part and just lifting up on that. And like I said, this isn't on the whole thing. But it's enough to where this will stick down. So I think I'm going to stick this under the ribbon. I want it over here. Pushing that down, like I said, makes it like a sticker. Wipe some of this away. And then we can put on our other pumpkins and our sentiment. Oops, I almost broke a pumpkin. So then I think I'm going to take some dimensionals, and I just have this, I've used these dimensionals, but I've cut them, the outsides of them. There's no more left on the sheet, but I have the outsides here. I like to use every little bit. I'm just going to use those on the back. And then just kind of layer that over. I'm not going to use dimensionals on this because I don't want it to be too popped up. We're putting it in a frame, so you don't want too many big layers going. So I'm just taking a little bit of seal. You could use liquid glue for this. And just running over those last 3 little notches. And I'm going to line that up with this pumpkin. Perfect. And then I am going to take some of these, this one, the backings here for my sentiment. And before I unstick this, I just want to see how I like it up there. We're going to put it up there. And I don't know why I did this in gold when I did silver. I just realized that. So I grabbed the wrong one. I was supposed to grab silver. That's okay. I make mistakes too. I'll have to redo that and get a silver one. And then the last, I'm just going to take a few. See, this is what happens though when I don't prep before. I just jumped on today and I thought, I'll get it. It'll be fine. I'm going to take a few of our regular rhinestones and put one there. Maybe not a few, maybe just one. I like the one. So then you take your picture frame, and depending on what kind you have, you just take off the back. Mine has cardboard on the inside, which I like because if you just put this in and then close it up, it's going to push in. And that glass there's glass in this one, and I don't want that. So I'm going to put the cardboard back in and close it up. And there is our pretty home decor project. So I hope you liked this video today. Don't forget, if you want to see more projects and have a chance to win fun things and create cards and share them with us, join my VIP group. I will be live in there on Sunday. And until next time, have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching.